Hey everyone, Dana here with Bucky's Customs. Hey, I'm getting ready to make a house sign for a client and I want to share that with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the AltMill and my new 45 watt laser from Opt Lasers. So stay with us. Okay everyone, this is how we're starting this video. You see me carrying in this big old block of wood. Well, that's a cutout from a countertop, a butcher block countertop that my buddy just had put in his house, and he asked me to make a sign out of that for the front of his house. So that's what we're going to do here. Now, it's going to be a combination of using the AltMill for a carving and also using the AltMill and our new Opt Laser 45 watt XT8 to engrave a nice design in there, and we'll get to that here in the upcoming minutes of this video. But most of you know that I've got a couple of long mills and I've got a couple of laser attachments for each one of them. I've been doing this for a couple years now, 3 years now, and you're probably wondering why Opt Laser. Well, let me tell you a little bit about Opt Lasers. Opt Lasers is a trusted Polish company with over 10,000 laser heads sold to customers around the globe. Being based in Poland means their customers avoid the added China tax, offering a cost-effective, reliable choice for laser technology. They're dedicated to exceptional customer support, providing assistance in any language, and backed by knowledgeable, responsive technical team. As pioneers in laserhead technology, they're committed to innovation, demonstrated by their recent patent for multi-diode laserheads, which met rigorous global standards. Each product comes with an extended warranty and a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, ensuring customers can experience their lasers with complete confidence. Beyond their products, they actively support charities and universities, reflecting their commitment to making a positive impact. Opt Lasers provide a lifetime technical support for every product, regardless of location. This is something that I really, really love. This dedication has earned their trust of industry leaders like Felder Group, Avid CNC, Shop Saver, Digital Wood Carver, and many more. To foster a strong community, they maintain a Facebook group and fan page where users can connect, ask questions, and share their projects, showcasing the versatility of their laser heads. Opt Laser products are built for long life cycles, typically lasting 5 to 10 years. In fact, some models like the PLH 5000 have been running for over a decade. Their reputation is supported by positive reviews across all forums. Their website and Facebook groups, which highlight their focus on quality, customer satisfaction, and innovation. For more information and resources, you can check out their website at optlasers.com. Gonna need the tools. You know, I got these new wrenches on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description of this video for you. They got little holes in the ends and they're exact size. You don't have to mess with it. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the description below, and you can go ahead and get yourself a pair of these. Okay, so first things first, what we're going to do is I've already loaded the roughing pass for this particular project in G-Sender. It's all ready to go. I home the machine. Always home the machine. I always do. I mean, yeah. It's just a good practice to get into. And now we're going to put an 1/8" collet in our spindle with an 1/8" down cut roughing bit, and we're going to do the roughing portion of the letters of the name and the numbers. So let's bring this up here. I'm going to use what I always use. I like the fact that it brings it up here really fast. We're going to take the dust boot bracket or holder off, and I'm going to remove this collet. All I'm doing is just unscrewing this, and it comes right out with the nut, okay, which is really kind of cool. Now just pull it out of there. I got my 1/4 inch in. Now we're going to take this 1/8", and we're going to clean this nut out, tap it really good, clean it out, push this until it clicks. That's all. And then put it back in the spindle, and you're good to go. When you put this bit in here, it stays. It does not pull out. It stays until you take it out. Now I do finger tight, so now we'll just put the tools on there, tighten that down, make sure it's tight, good to go. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the machine back towards the center, and I want to show you, I'll zoom in, I've already located the center of the board. Okay, now we're going to bring this over, and we'll use precise, and we'll get this thing lined up. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our 0 using this small bit. Now it doesn't have to be perfect the first time. Now the reason why my X and Y doesn't have to be perfect is simply because this piece of wood is considerably larger than the project I'm making. So I'm going to be using tabs, and I'm cutting out the sign from within this piece. So anywhere within a 1/2 inch of that to set my initial XY0 is going to work. And then I won't have to set my XY0 again, and we can change bits. The only thing we will need to do, and you'll see me do that throughout this video, is set our Z height for each bit that I put in there. So right now we're going to click in G-Sender, we're going to click 0X, 0Y, and then we're going to raise this up, and I'm going to bring my touch block in, and I'm going to 0 this 1/8" bit. So we set our Z for the probe, and we got to make connectivity, and I did, and then it probes for the Z. Okay, and that is it. So now we're all set to run the roughing pass for the initial go of the sign. Now you've seen me do roughing passes before for inlays and cutting boards, that sort of thing, and generally doing a roughing pass with an 1/8" bit is usually in combination with a 1/4 inch bit, where you really need to take a lot of material out. In this case, I probably could have gotten away without doing a roughing pass and just using my 60-degree V-bit to do the whole carve. Let's do this. Let's take this off. Take this down. This is so easy with the bracket. Just so easy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change this bit. And what we're going to do is put a V-bit in. And you notice that you loosen it, you pull the bit out. It doesn't fall. So anyway, I take the bit out. We'll set that aside here. And we're going to put a V-bit in, but we really need to take this 1/8" collet out. Comes out with the nut. And we could just pop that out. Pop the 1/4" back in. Put that back in the spindle. Put it back in the spindle. And now we're going to put a 60-degree V-bit in here. I like to squeeze it. Just like that. We're done using the 1/8" bit. We'll put that back in its container. And I'll put that back in storage along with the 1/8" bit. So everything has its place here. And there we go. We'll close that back up. We're going to set our Z because we put a new bit in there. Right there. Let's lower it. Sorry, you can't see through my head. I apologize for that. Well, we can move over here. We'll lower that down. And then we'll probe connectivity. And we'll start the probe. Bingo. There we go. Now we want to adjust this so that it's just above the tip of the bit. Just above it. Giving it some air to be able to suck in the dust. And now we will change the file to the VCarve. There we go. We got that set up. And I've done Z. And we're all set to go. We'll just start the job. And start the dust collection. Now setting the dust boot just above the surface of your workpiece definitely improves the quality of the dust collection that you get off of the piece. In this case, there's so little debris, it probably wouldn't have made any difference just to put the bristles all the way down. But I have always done this in the past, so it's just a habit I've started. Okay, now that is done. V-bit's done. So now all we need is a down cut 1/4" end mill. And now we need down cut 1/4" end mill. And what I'm going to use is a CIC Workshop, a bit called the Golden Girl. We're going to use the Golden Girl. So first things first, we will get the V-bit out of here. And shouldn't take long to do. Pull that out, put it back in its box. And want it to be able to reach through the board to cut this out, and that will make us very happy. To make sure that I can get in there. I definitely can get in there. So it'll be cutting it close. Get it? Ryan always says if you're not cutting it close, you're not cutting it. So now let's load up that file We're going to do the profile. And like I said, I am using tabs, and we're going to go around this whole sign, cut it out, and then we're going to laser an image in it with our Opt laser. This particular cutout took quite a while to do because I was taking small passes, small cuts at each pass, so I didn't want to do a whole lot of sanding. There's a few things that we can do at this point. I can just leave it in place, take this off, put the Opt laser on, and set up LightBurn file and get that carved in there, engraved in there. I think what I'm going to do first is I'm going to make sure that this is off, and then we'll put it back in the machine and get rid of all the dust. That way we don't have a fire. We'll check everything out, make sure we're good, clean it up a little bit. I'm going to have to do a little bit of sanding before I do all that anyway, so that's what we're going to do. Okay everyone, now what I'm going to do is, you've watched me do the carving part of this outdoor sign, it's house sign actually, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to engrave an image of a deer in this for the customer, and I'm going to use my Opt laser, my XT8 45 watt, and we're going to engrave in this sign, and then we're going to put a clear over it, paint the letters, and put a clear over it after that, and I'll show you what I end up with. But what I want to start with is I went ahead and installed the XT8 on the convertible mount. There's a mount that goes on the front of this, and I'll show you some pictures of that. And then this laser actually lifts up and removes. It has everything in it, your air assist and all your electrical connections to the SLB on your AltMill. Everything is there. It's nice and neat. You can run everything in your drag chain. Very, very cool. And right now I don't have smoke evacuation on my AltMill. So I'm going to show you really quick. I'm going to use my shop vac hose. I've taken the 5-inch line off of this, and I piped it with one of these dryer vent hoses to a window vent, and I'm going to use that 2.5 horsepower motor to suck the smoke hopefully off of this table. I'm crossing my fingers on that. This thing blows quite a bit of air and it might not work. So with that being said, I've got to come up with a solution, and I haven't done that yet. So if you have any ideas, please, by all means, leave them in the comments below. And it'll really help other users of lasers who might have them in their basement or their garage that need to vent this smoke by adding an XT8 laser. They have smaller lasers to 45 watt, and they've been in this industry for a very long time. It is a high quality laser. It is something that I've really enjoyed having in this shop. Now, no, I didn't buy it. They sent it to me and they asked me to review it, and that's what I'm doing. So far, I love it. The one thing that I love the most is the on-off. Now, I'm going to run this a little faster because it's on my AltMill. My long mill doesn't run as fast as the AltMill. So in order to keep this thing from falling off because of the sudden movements this needs to make, they provided clips that you can screw this thing fast, and that's what I did. And I don't want to ruin this and have to go ahead and either sand it off and recarve it or do another board. Now, the other thing is focus. We need to focus our laser to our material, and they send this convenient little block, and I just set that on top of the material, and you focus it to the corner of the laser itself. What we're going to attempt to do is something that I've only done 20 other times, and that's use the G-Sender program to run a LightBurn G-code file and laser on our machine. Now you can run LightBurn direct, but you'll have to have LightBurn on your computer that runs your AltMill. With that all being said, I've zeroed the Z height according to their adjustment block. Set your X and Y as well to that corner if that's where you've set up your drawing from. So that's what I've done. Everything is all set. I'll tell you how I prepared this wood. I sanded it, finished it, and I put 2 coats of sanding sealer on it. And the reason why I did that is so it was easier for me to paint these letters. Now I know this laser is going to burn through that sealer, and I'm kind of hoping that it will just give me a really cool, crisp carve with no overburning. I am using the air assist as well, so it should do well. So grab your Opt Laser glasses. I've zeroed everything out, and the X, Y, and Z are all 0. We're at our start point. I'm gonna start the smoke evacuation, and then we're going to start this file. You know, I don't know about you, but if you have a laser and you do projects like this or any kind of project and you sit there and watch it, it's just amazing to watch. But this is not one of the first ones that I've done with this machine, but it certainly is one of the better ones. There's some bonus footage at the end of the video you can check out. But yeah, this one really came out well. I'm very happy with this. Wow, that really came out awesome. I can't tell you how much I love this laser. It has the power to dig deep, and I love that about a 45-watt laser. Now, I don't have the room in my shop, even though I have a bigger shop now. I don't really have the room for a standalone laser, and this really works out well because I do a lot of laser work, and I know that in my head eventually I'm going to have to get a standalone laser to keep up with the amount of workflow that I've been getting. This year has been phenomenal. I'm so happy that I decided to go this route. Anyway, man, Opt Lasers has their stuff together. Honestly, I couldn't be happier with this. Now, I ran the Opt Laser at 60 power, and I ran it at 150 inches a minute. The only reason I ran it so slow, and I can't run the long mill at 150, otherwise you will lose steps, and it's done that to me. But the AltMill I can go super fast with, but this time I didn't because I wanted a black, dark, deep burn for this outside sign. I'm going to be spraying an exterior oil-based clear on it, and it's going to darken it up, and I want that to be seen. So I'm a little out of breath over this. This thing has really done well. I'm very pleased. Let's get a close-up of this. Detailed. Super detailed. When that gets a clear coat on it, my goodness, that's going to be crazy good. That is just super. I'll probably just take a little Scotch-Brite and go over that. I'll probably use some isopropyl alcohol to clean it and get the residue, the burn residue off of it, but it should be fine. I'll get the letters painted and we'll get it clear coated, and I'll show you what it ends up to be. And the XT8 proved its worth. So there's links in the description below, so check them out. Well, that was done. One more in the books, and it came out awesome. The AltMill performed flawlessly. And, you know, I'll be honest with you, right out of the box, this thing has been so accurate. I can't say enough about it. In about 2 months, I'm going to do a 6-month review, a more in-depth review. I'm going to give you some pluses and minuses about the AltMill, some of the things that I've experienced in the past 6 months. And trust me, there's more positive than negative. And it's not because I was given this AltMill. I bought this AltMill. It is probably one of the best purchases I've ever made for my shop. And yes, I was number two because I waited until I got that email and I immediately ordered. I don't know who got number one, but props to him or her for doing that. I was number two in line, and I want to tell you, I love this thing. Absolutely love it. But anyway, I'd appreciate it if you'd like this video. If you liked what you saw so far, I'd appreciate it if you liked. And if you haven't subscribed, I'm going to be producing a lot more of these videos with the AltMill, and I would really appreciate if you subscribe so you don't miss them. You know, it helps this channel out. And immediately following this close, I'm going to have a VCarve Pro tutorial on how I created this sign, a LightBurn tutorial on how I created this image, and I'm going to have some of the Opt laser installation. So for those of you that want to see that, just continue on. There'll be more at the end here, but my goodness, I can't say enough about Opt Lasers. They have been super with me as far as sending quality equipment. And no, I didn't purchase this laser. They sent it to me to try, and I really, really appreciate it. It is really unbelievable. It has the snot to keep up with the AltMill. But what I like a lot about it is its uniqueness in design. It's very heavy. When I say very heavy, maybe 2 pounds. I don't know. Not very good at that, but it's up there. And it's very well made. And it just goes on and off so easy. I love this mount. It's got the air assist built right in it. All the wiring's built right in it. You run everything through your drag chain over to your power source, and even your air assist goes through your drag chain. There's a port on here for your air assist. All you do is just set it on this, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Now, if you're really cranking along with the AltMill and you don't want to take a chance of this thing popping off in a quick move, you can always screw these brackets to the side with a little screw on either side. Takes 2 minutes to do, and have that security. But you don't necessarily need it if you're going back and forth fairly at a decent rate. This thing will hold true. It's magnetically mounted, so it really, really is a nice mount. And I really enjoy the fact that all I got to do to switch over to the spindle is take this off, put this little cover on here, and that covers up all the connections, and I'm ready to start using my spindle again. So put this in storage till you're ready. Take this cap off, and that's all there is to mounting and installing your laser, and you're ready to go. If you use G-Sender, all you do is change it to the SLB laser, and you're done. You're in that mode, and it runs this laser. To switch back, you just switch it back to the H100 spindle, and you're back to ready to use the spindle again. But yeah, really, really happy with the design. Really, really happy with the way the sign came out. Just another good project for me, and a good project for the AltMill and the Opt Laser combined. It's really a pretty cool combination. So, hey, if you're interested in the Opt Laser, there'll be links in the description below. You can go ahead and check them out. And with all that, I think I'm going to let you go. For those of you that want to stick around and watch the LightBurn, the VCarve Pro, and the installation of the Opt Laser, that'll be right after I close. So until next time, everyone, be safe out there. Well, here we are with the unboxing. Truthfully, the only time I really want to watch an unboxing is when I want to see how something is packaged. And you can see that this box was beat up pretty good, and had to come across the ocean, and a long way to get here, and I think it fared well. There was no parts were destroyed, none of that. It was a pretty uneventful unboxing. Until I found the candy. The candy was cool. It was really good. It was different than what I had normally, gotten fat on, but it's pretty good. So you'll enjoy that when you get your new Opt Laser. And be sure to use your code Bucky's10 to get a 10% discount when you purchase. Enjoy this little bit of installation. I'm going to show you how I installed my Opt Laser. Okay, you can see how big this thing is based on my hand, and it's very stout, very, very robust, and weighs about a pound or so, pound and a half, but it really installs quite easily. Now, this comes with a mount that mounts on the front, or it could mount on the side of your AltMill, I guess, off to the side. I chose to mount it directly in the center. Now, this is an all-purpose, all-in-one mount. It has your air assist hooked to it, plus all your power leads. And your power leads are here, and your air assist hole is right there. Now, all you need to do is hook the male portion of that to your laser, and you can see all the pins, and right here is your air assist pocket, and all that does is that clicks in on top, magnetically pulls in, so it doesn't pull out, move around. It is really secure. Now, the other thing they did was, knowing that we have a very fast CNC machine, and with a magnetic mount, you always are at risk that this could, lift up, change direction, whatever, because of the sudden, moves that it makes. So what they've done is they've included a couple of holes right here that are threaded, you can see, and you can put a screw in there, and that will secure it permanently. Not permanently until you take the screw out, obviously, but it gives it side to side, and it also keeps it from pulling off. So really, really great design. It's probably my favorite thing about this laser, because in the past, as you know, I've used lasers on my CNCs, and you have to remove them, and they have to be unplugged, and you have to, it's just a pain in the butt to put them on and off all the time. So this makes it so easy, and you just pull it off, and you can put it in storage. It goes on so fast. It's all ready to go at that point. All you do is turn your driver on and light this thing up, and it is ready to go. Now, all the lines go through your drag chain, and if you own an AltMill, which I'm hoping that you do or will soon, you can run one power cable with a connector that goes into your mount through your drag chain all the way through the other drag chain on your y-axis, and then it comes around, and I've chosen to mount my driver right here. Now, it's temporary for now until I get something else. I get a frog up my butt and want to change something, I'll do that. But the gray wire plugs in simply in one side, and then your power goes from this driver or your adapter to your SLB, and the SLB couldn't be any simpler. It says laser. So you just plug it in there and you're good to go. Just making sure that you have the correct positive and negative in your plug. So, but that's about it. And then in order to turn this on, you turn it on there, it boots up. You can see it booting up. And now it says disarmed. All you need to do to arm it is push this button. And you can hear it running over there, right? Shut it off, hit that button. It shuts it off. Pretty goddamn cool. I'm very excited about this. This is a really, really cool addition. It has a power box as well, which is right there. That plugs into my port over there, my magnetic surge protector. And that's it for the installation. I'm sorry I didn't go through it step by step, but come on, this couldn't be any simpler, right? The only thing that you need to do is figure out what screws you need to use in this, and it comes with plenty of different screws for plenty of different applications, how you want it to install. And keep in mind that they make this laser for other machines as well, not just the AltMill. Thankfully, this hooks up fairly simply with a back plate here, and then the female mounting plate, or the male mounting plate, and then that just screws on there. And you can, there's some adjustability. You can go up or down with this plate so that it will raise and lower this to where you want to run it. So, but yeah, this is the Opt Laser PLH3D-XT8 blue laser, 45 watt. It is very, very cool. And they sent me a few stickers, so I put some stickers on the AltMill, and you know, a couple of warning stickers as well for laser. But you know what? I'm very, very pleased with this. I'm sorry that it wasn't a, you know, take out of the box, step-by-step thing. I'll put some pictures in here of what was in the box. But yeah, it was pretty simple. Couldn't be easier. Even if you've never used it before, couldn't be easier. So, and when I'm done with this laser, I just put it in the drawer down here. So, all right, that is about it for that. Thank you so much for sticking around this long, and don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Stay tuned. There's going to be a LightBurn tutorial and a VCarve Pro tutorial after this. Take care. Be safe. VCarve Pro version 12 carve for this sign. Really excited about doing this. First thing we do is when we open it up, I'll go right over here to create new file. And we're going to create a 28 by 16 by 1 3/4 thick piece of wood. I've already done this. We're going to use the center datum, and I'm not going to worry about material settings. I want to go standard fastest because I don't have any modeling to do. Click OK. Now, you know that the sign I have has the scallops on the corners, and in order to create that, we're going to use a rectangle tool, and we're going to make this a radius internal. You can do radius external. That's how you do that. You can also do square, and this case we're going to use a 3-inch radius. So we're going to click create. Now we'll close that. You notice that VCarve brings it in, and it's not in on the workpiece itself. But typically, getting back to why I created 28 by 16 is because that's the finished piece. I want to be able to utilize this and the settings on VCarve Pro to transfer them over to LightBurn when I do the burning file for the Opt Lasers. So you'll understand what I mean when we get to that. So what I want to do is I want to put this rectangle on the workpiece, and how we're going to do that is I'm going to select it, and then we're going to come over here to the Align Objects tool, and we're going to hit center both ways, right in the middle. And the reason why I can't do that with the quick command F9 is because if I hit F9, it's going to stop my screen record, and I'm not going to want to do that. So we'll opt to do it this way this time. So there you go. We've got our sign profile all done. Let's select it off, come over here and create some text. We're going to do 713 first. The font that's chosen is exactly what I used in the program. So we're going to close that. Then we're going to come over here to the selected objects and size. I'm going to make it 7 inches. I'm going to take this link XY off and make it 4 inches and hit apply and close that. Now what I want to do is I just want to select that, get the grab bars, and move that up here a little bit. Just temporarily. So now what we need to do is deselect, select the text tool again. I'm going to go up here, and you notice it put a text box down here. I'm going to type in the name, and we're going to click close. I'm going to select the name again, and I'm going to move it down. Now you notice it's kind of large, so let's come over here to the set selected objects, size again. Let's make it 14, and we're going to make it 4 inches tall, same as the numbers, and hit apply. Now you notice that they're not straight up and down from each other, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select them both, and I'm going to come over here to the alignment tool again, and I'm going to be under the align to selection. These are my selection. I want them to align side to side. So you notice it moved that over enough to line up the 713 with this center of Dylan back. So the next thing I want to do is close that. If I'm going too fast, I really am sorry about that. This is so simple to do. You can pause and rewind. It's a quick video for you. Sorry. It's already been a very long video, and if you're here watching this, man, do I appreciate you going all this way. But so now what we're going to do is I'm going to select both. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to group this text. Because now what I can do is I can move them while they're grouped to where I think they'll be best served, because I have an image that has to go in here. So in order to see what that image is, we can go ahead and bring it in, and I want to select it, and then I'm going to move it over. You notice that the program brings it in so that it's centered up and down on this center line, which is kind of cool. We need to resize this image, and I want to see what that is. Oh, it's 10 by 15. It's already the right size. That's the size we want to use. And I wanted to be able to, make sure everything fits. It's not too close here. It's not too close to the top. I could probably bring it down a little bit, but I think we're good right where it's at. And I really like the distance between the K and the side and the buck over here. I probably could go over just a little bit, but I'm thinking that'll be good right there. So now the next step is we need to make the tool path. So what we're going to do first is we're going to make a tool path for the outline. So let's go up to the tool pass, and we're going to do an outline. It's going to go 1.75 inches deep. That's how thick our board is. It's going to be on the outside. I'm going to create tabs. I'm going to edit the tabs here. I'm going to add 2, make 4 tabs, and click add tabs. And you notice it puts the tabs on each side. Then you can close that. You're done with that. Real easy to do. I've used a 1/4 inch end mill, and I want to just check the speeds and feeds. 150 and 50 is good. 20,000 RPMs is good, and we're using a down cut, so it'll keep the top edge clean as it's going down. The only thing I see different here is we are at 14. Let's edit that bit. Oh, it is set. When I did this project originally, it changed the setting to 1/8 of an inch. It was 1/4 of an inch. So, but that's good. We're going to make 14 passes around there. It'll go quick. The reason why I'm taking so many passes is because I don't want to sand a whole lot, and it really did work out well. So now what we're going to do is calculate. And there's our profile toolpath. If you want, we can preview that. See, it goes all the way through. And here's a little tab down here. You can see that. So reset the preview and close this. Now let's select the words, and we're going to go up here to VCarve engraving. So now what we want to do is start at the top, which is 0, go down 0.2, and then we're going to use a 60-degree 1/2 inch V-bit and an 1/8 inch end mill. Now you probably don't have to use an 1/8 inch end mill as a clearance tool. You can just use the V-bit. It would just take longer to do, and I think it leaves more sanding to do in the bottoms of what you're trying to create. So an end mill really doesn't take long, and it really does a nice job in the bottom of the V groove itself. So we're going to use offset for specific options, and then we're just going to calculate that. And what it does is it calculates both the tool path for the VCarve or the V-bit and the clearance tool. And if we want to run that, we can do preview all tool paths, and you can see that it really does a nice job clearing that all out. It's plenty deep enough. We're going to paint the letters, and it's pretty good the way it is. So that's really all you need to do. We can close this out and go to Save Toolpaths. We want visible toolpaths to multiple files because we're using 3 different bits. So then you just click Save Toolpaths, select them, Save Toolpaths, and save them where you need to save them. And that is it. Don't forget to save. Come over here and save your file to wherever you need to save it. Otherwise you'll lose it if you just close it out. Honestly, it won't let you do that. It'll ask you to save, but make sure you do that. And that is it. So now we're going to move into LightBurn, and we're going to do a quick tutorial on that, and this project will be finished. But first, you can see I'm still in VCarve, and what I've done is let me go back over to the toolpaths. I've deselected all the toolpaths and returned back over to the design menu, and you can see I have the deer in here, and I've placed it in here. Now this is not going to work for me in LightBurn with a center datum point. So what I have to do is I have to go to the job dimensions and origin and change this to the lower left. And what that does is when we click on it, Yes, I want to save that. All toolpaths were recalculated, which is fine. Don't panic over that. You can always change it back. So what that does is that takes this, the deer, and gives it coordinates from a 0 point here in the bottom left hand corner, which is when I put this in the mill to use our Opt laser and burn this image, it's going to put it exactly where you see it right now, because I've changed it to a 0 point bottom left hand corner. So when I X and Y 0 my AltMill, it'll be on that corner and it'll put the image right where it is in relationship to that 0 point. I hope you understand that. I'll explain, I explain more of that in the video, but this is how I got to that point. It just makes it so much easier. The coordinates are already there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see, right here, it gives you the width and the height of the piece, but what we want is where it's at. Now you can see my X position and my Y position. So what I want you to do now, based on absolute, okay, I want you to write down your X position as 6.8264. I know that's a lot. And then your Y position, I want you to write down 8. Okay? So what that does is that tells you where to put this image in relation to your 0 point. Okay? As long as your image is the same size, 10 by 15, which it is, you're good to go. So we can go ahead and close this out. Exit. No, I don't want to make these changes. And we can go to LightBurn. Open up a new LightBurn here, and let's start by putting the project size in here as a rectangle, and that's what I like to do. That gives me a workspace, an exact workspace. So we're going to create a rectangle. We're going to make it the same size as our workpiece, which our end sign, which is 28 by 16. And we're going to use the bottom left as a datum point. Okay, now we're going to make that 0 because we're going to be going off of that bottom left hand corner with the Opt laser in order to carve this deer. So what that gives me though is the exact workpiece area that we're going to be using. So now what I want to do is I want to bring that deer in. And we use the PNG. Let's click on the deer and make sure the size is what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be 10 by 15, but we're going to go with that. That works for me. Let's just change it. It's almost 10 by 15. I don't know why they do that, but it does come in weird. So that image is 10 by 15. We're going to make the datum point a center because you know that's the way it was in VCarve Pro, right? So we wrote those dimensions down. So the X is going to be 6.8264 and the Y is going to be 8, and there you go. It's exactly where we need it to be. So now what we need to do is we need to work on the settings, and you know, unfortunately it has the same settings that when I used LightBurn the last time to do the deer. So we were at 150 inches a minute. That's right here, inches a minute, and I was at 60 power. And we used the sketch image mode, so which created an awesome carving, as you saw. And we shut off the output to the line. We don't need the output I can shut the show off on that. Everything is done. All we need to do now is create a file that we can bring over to the AltMill, load in, and carve. So we want to come down here to laser, and we have absolute coordinates done. We want to save the G code, and all you need to do to save this into a file is just click Save G code, and it just name your file. And I typically put it on a USB drive and transfer it over to my AltMill, and that's pretty much how we did that. So I told you it was pretty simple. And of course, you know, if it's your first time using LightBurn, and you might want to, you know, practice a little bit to get your powers and how fast you run, but you'll get a handle on that after a while. Once you do a few test pieces, I always do test pieces, and I did in this case, and that's how I came up with the 150 and 60. I really wanted this burn to be dark, as you could see, and I think I achieved that pretty good there. So hey, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this whole video. Boy, if you stuck it out this far, props to you for doing that, and I want to thank you very much for doing that. It really helps us out. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It'll allow you to see new content, and I'm really happy with this Opt Laser. I hope you go out and get yourself one. There's links in the description below. Thank you. We'll see you the next time. Be safe out there.